This hit goes out to you, Mr. Wick.
Woke up this morning.
42 regular, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Our topic is very long, so to summarize it briefly, in this video we will talk about everything about John Wick 4 and I hope you all enjoy it. Now let's go to the video. Keanu Reeves as John Wick is finally back in theaters next year, and while the fourth installment remains shrouded in mystery, we've broken down everything you need to know so far. With action icon and beloved Hollywood darling, Keanu Reeves in the lead, John Wick has emerged as one of the biggest franchises of the past decade. Fans have had to wait a while for a new installment since 2019's John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum proved the popularity of franchise creator Derek Kolstad's universe by grossing $56 million on opening weekend. That was more than the opening grosses of the 2014 and 2017 original films combined. Altogether, the three films have collected more than $573 million at the global box office, which is a major milestone for an original action franchise competing against comic book-driven eyeballs. And in Hollywood, big box office returns mean more sequels to come. John Wick 4 and John Wick 5 are already in the works, with the fourth installment set for a March 24, 2023 release following multiple COVID-related delays. Chapter 4 kicks off the two-part finale planned for Wick. The franchise spurred upcoming spin-off film Ballerina starring Ana de Armas and Peacock prequel series The Continental about the hotel for mercenaries, set for a March 2023 release as part of a three-part special event. Colin Waddell will take over Ian McShane's role as hotel manager Winston for the 1975 set series, along with Mel Gibson, Iamide Adégan, and Peter Green. Ride-along collaborators Greg Coolidge and Kirk Ward will both write and be showrunners for the series, along with their respective The Expendables prequel show. Albert Hughes, Menace to Society, The Book of Eli, will direct 2 episodes, and Charlotte Brandstrom, The Lord of the Rings of Power, will direct 1. As for upcoming film John Wick Chapter 4, much of the plot, or even the new players, remains shrouded in mystery. But as we wait till next year to find Keanu Reeves once again seeking vengeance, IndieWire has compiled a list of must-know details about the new installment of the beloved action franchise. Ballerina will explore John Wick's origins. Spin-off prequel film Ballerina will solve some of the mysteries surrounding John Wick's, Keanu Reeves' upbringing and background. Ana de Armas leads the action film, which will feature cameos from Reeves, Ian McShane, Angelica Houston, and late star Lance Reddick. Len Wiseman directs. Ballerina screenwriter Shay Hatton told Screen Rant that the film began as an unrelated spec script outside of the John Wick universe 6 years ago. The original script was set into Swiss Alps, which is territory that the John Wick movies have not touched. So, I think in a great way, it meant that we could kind of stick to the original story of that script from Ballerina without stepping on the toes of John Wick, Hatton said. But also it's a character who we know went to the same ballet academy as John. I think in Ballerina you'll get to see some of the hints of what John experienced during his origins in that place, but through the eyes of a different character. It still solves some of the answers of Wick, just through the eyes of a new character. Keanu Reeves calls John Wick a playful challenge. Keanu Reeves reflected on the John Wick franchise, telling People magazine that the stunts are playful to him. I love the challenges of John Wick, it's super intense. It's playful, Reeves said. I get to do different things, driving, you know? I get to use nunchucks and do movie judo, movie jujitsu. So I really enjoy that. Audiences should view John Wick as Odysseus. John Wick Chapter 4 director Chad Stahelski revealed the next installment will focus on the mythology of the Continental and the assassin underground world. I don't really believe, at least for the John Wick movies, in a 3-act structure, Stahelski told Variety. I believe in storytelling and leaving it. You know, we've always seen John Wick as Odysseus. So we take the time we need to tell the story. And hence the needs for different chapters. The fourth installment is already billed as the longest movie in the franchise yet, and the director issued a warning to fans: as long as we don't fall asleep watching it, we keep it going. But I guess there is a bathroom limit. John Wick's ending is an emotional journey, no happy ending. Director Chad Stahelski has warned John Wick fans that the character will not ride off into the fucking sunset after the franchise wraps in 5 films. John may survive all this shit, but at the end of it, there's no happy ending. He's got nowhere to go, Stahelski told IndieWire of how Reeves' storyline may end. Honestly, I challenge you right now, here's a question to you: how do you fucking want me to end it? Do you think he's going to ride off into the fucking sunset? He's killed 300 fucking people and he's just going to walk away, everything's okay? He's just going to fall in love with a love interest? If you're this fucking guy, if this guy really exists, Ed, how is this guy's day going to end? He's fucked for the rest of his life. It's just a matter of time. Stahelski later added to Collider that it was a puzzle to find the right balance in tone for the film. We've tried to do something at the end that is emotional, he hinted. John Wick Chapter 4 will be the longest in the franchise. Director Chad Stahelski told Collider that Chapter 4 is longer than the other 3, before adding, but it's not that long. While Stahelski stayed mum over the runtime, it still means the 4th John Wick film is at least 2 hours and 12 minutes, topping John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, which clocked in at 131 minutes. Keanu Reeves will suffer due to unprecedented stunts. Director Chad Stahelski promised that Chapter 4 will feature new and interesting ways to have John Wick suffer in fight scenes. Reeves, who performs most of his own stunts and fight choreography alongside Stahelski, added in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, "That's where the action comes from. Figure out how to make him suffer, and then design backward." John Wick Chapter 4 teaser trailer hints at a reckoning. The first look at Keanu Reeves as John Wick 4 Chapter 4 arrived during 2022 San Diego Comic-Con. The teaser trailer kicks off the 2-part finale for Reeves as Wick, setting up a deeper conclusion for Assassin Wick's existential journey, as star Lawrence Fishburne revealed. There will be a John Wick Chapter 5. Back in August of 2020, Lionsgate CEO John Feltheimer revealed that not only would there be a 5th John Wick movie, but it would also be filmed back-to-back with the 4th. "We're also busy preparing scripts for the next 2 installments of our John Wick action franchise, with John Wick 4 slated to hit theaters Memorial Day weekend 2022, said Feltheimer. Production was delayed by the pandemic and The Matrix 4. Originally, John Wick Chapter 4 was supposed to hit theaters this Memorial Day weekend. However, production delays and theater closures due to COVID-19 affected the production schedule of John Wick Chapter 4, as did Keanu Reeves' commitments to the tentatively titled The Matrix 4, which was also supposed to be released this Memorial Day weekend. John Wick Chapter 4 finally began production at the end of June 2021. Because of that, as Lionsgate CEO John Feltheimer announced, John Wick Chapter 4 is now set to be released on May 27, 2022. The Matrix 4, on the other hand, is set to be released this December. Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 won't be filmed back-to-back. As Lionsgate CEO John Feltheimer said last August, "We hope to shoot both John Wick 4 and 5 back-to-back when Keanu becomes available early next year." However, due to the aforementioned production delays and state of the world, the 4th and 5th movies in the John Wick franchise no longer will be shot back-to-back. It's an international affair. John Wick Chapter 4 will be location shooting throughout the summer, as this addition to the franchise will take Wick throughout Europe, specifically Berlin, Germany. In addition to the European shooting locations of Berlin and Paris, France, John Wick Chapter 4 is also set to shoot in both Japan and the John Wick origin point, New York City. Keanu Reeves, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Where we left things off. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum ended with a wounded John Wick left for dead by Ian McShane's Winston, who was determined to stay in the high table's good graces and keep control of the Continental, retrieved by the TikTok man and taken underground to, and also very much alive, Bowery King. Moving on to John Wick Chapter 4, it seems that Wick and Bowery King will be joining forces in order to take on the High Table. Asterisk, there is a theory that Winston actually helped Wick and didn't really try to kill him. That question will hopefully be answered in John Wick Chapter 4. There will be familiar faces. Unlike The Matrix 4, Lawrence Fishburne, Bowery King, is returning to this continuing Keanu Reeves franchise. As are Lance Reddick, Sharon, and Ian McShane, Winston. Still unconfirmed are both Halle Berry, Sophia, and Jason Mantzoukas, TikTok man, who made their John Wick debuts in John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. But don't worry, Keanu Reeves is also returning as the titular John Wick. And newcomers aplenty. In terms of the newcomers to the franchise, Bill Skarsgård, Shamir Anderson, Scott Adkins, Hiroyuki Sanada, and Donnie Yen have all been confirmed as joining the cast by this point. As has pop star Rina Sawayama, making her film debut. Sanada was originally set to star in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum as Zero, who ended up being played by Mark Dacascos, but an Achilles tendon injury put him out of commission. And while, much like his fellow newcomers, the character Sanada will be playing has been kept rather tight-lipped, a quote from a Collider interview with Fishburne does suggest that it will be someone named Watanabe. I read the script. It's really, really cool. As much as it's the same world as the other 3 films, it's just deeper. It's much deeper in terms of the code of the assassin and the relationship that he has with one character in particular who I think Mr. Watanabe is playing is really the heart and soul of it. Director Chad Stahelski has returned. A former stuntman, Stahelski has directed the entire franchise thus far. But writer Derek Kolstad has not. Instead, Shay Hatton, American Assassin, and Michael Finch, Army of the Dead, are credited as the writers for John Wick Chapter 4. As Kolstad, who wrote the first 2 John Wick films and co-wrote John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, said back in March, "No, it wasn't my decision. When you think of the contractually of these things, the third one I shared the credit with any number of people, the studio didn't have to come back to me, and so they didn't." I know the video is very long, but I think it is a very informative and beautiful video for all of you. We would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the video to support us.